Hi, Matt with eTrailer, and today we're going to be talking about the repair kit for the eTrailer and Ram channel tongue couplers. Now, a reason why you might want to replace this is for a couple reasons. Now, with this sitting out in a lot of different weather conditions, sometimes you're going to get a lot of debris or water that really get caught up in there. It can really just make it kind of difficult to use sometimes. It might not necessarily be broken, but there is always a chance of that happening because there is a lot of moving components. And rather than replacing your whole coupler, you can just replace this latch, which is going to be a lot more affordable. And a lot of times, these couplers are going to be welded on, so it's going to be a lot of work, or you're going to have to pay someone to get this removed. You'll notice it is a little dingy looking. A lot of that paint has come off. It still works fine, but sometimes it might catch, and that's a good reason to replace it, especially if you're working with this on a daily basis. Now, I have the new one in my hand right here. And this is still going to work for your 2-inch balls. Ian has that same kind of embezzling here on the side, let you know so you don't forget. But let's go over all the pieces we have. So if I just undo this real quick, I can just kind of turn it. It'll loosen up. Go the other way. And we'll go over all the pieces. So right here, we're going to have the actual latch mechanism itself. We're going to have the large spring that goes on it. And then we're going to have this base right here that'll go sit right on top. Now for the inner components, we're going to have this smaller spring. We're going to have this washer. And we're going to have this kind of nut catch right here. And then we're going to have the nut. But let's start taking this off and replacing it. So what we're going to do is lift up on the latch, put in that up position. What that's doing for us is loosening everything below. So I can push up on the base and on this little nut catch here. With that out of my way, then I can grab a 3/4 socket and wrench and just kind of start taking that off. You might find that you have a lot of resistance, especially if this is an older coupler that might have some rust in here. Just kind of take your time with it. You can get this off of here. Now I can finally remove it. So once this nut comes off, all I'm really doing is kind of taking off all these individual pieces here at the bottom, putting that off to the side, and then I'm just going to wiggle a little bit. And that's going to allow me to pull my latch to the top. Now we can grab that new latch. Make sure it's in this position all the way straight and out. And we're just going to drop that through that hole. And make sure it's sitting in the right position. Now I'm going to reach down and I'm going to grab my new spring. Put that on, followed by that base. The way this is going to go on is going to be at an angle. So the trick to this is pushing up on that bolt some so you can get this to sit in there properly. Just like that. As you can see, the back end is kind of wrapped around this rod right here, and that's what we're looking for. And from here, we're going to put everything on in the same orientation as we took them off. So I'm going to put on that flat washer with that flat side closest to that little bend we have. Then I'm going to grab that little spring washer, put that on too. You want to make sure you're applying constant pressure to this. It's just going to make that a little bit easier. And then that lock nut holder here. And then we'll finish it off with this nut. And once you get that hand threaded on, we'll go back through with the 3/4 inch socket and wrench. Tighten it a little bit more too. Just keep tightening until you can't anymore. And right now we're going to give it a little test to see how it's fitting. What I'm really looking for is to see how much play we have. Right now the transition feels pretty smooth. I'm liking the way it feels. It does have a little bit of looseness here at the very top. So I'm probably just going to tighten that down just a tad bit more. I'm going to try it again now with it tightened down some more. And right now this is feeling a lot better. like that more. So what I suggest doing at this point is just hooking up to one of your balls and just taking out a little quick drive, probably around like a parking lot, anything like that, just to make sure it's going to safely latch on. Then get out afterwards and check out to make sure it still looks good. And if it does, then that will complete our look at the installation of the repair kit for your eTrailer and Ram couplers.